Balarama Reddiar was a very affluent man. He owned lands which his family looked after, and his elder brother was sending him money. One day he got a letter from his brother saying, "I can't take care of your land anymore. You have to come here and supervise your land." Balarama Reddiar was downcast because this meant that he would have to leave the ashram and visit Bhagavan only once in a while like many others. He gave Bhagavan the letter and he read it, laid it aside and kept quiet. Balarama Reddiar refrained from asking him anything. 3 days later, Balarama Reddiar got a letter from his mother, also a spiritual person, saying, "Do not come here. It is your good fortune that you are able to stay with such a holy person. I will take care of your land. I will send you money. Do not come away." Bhagwan smiled at the letter, indicating that he need not go back for the sake of money. The Master does indeed protect his devotees in every respect. Sri Bhagavan's handwriting from Balarama Reddiar's notebook. During Bhagavan's last days, devotees like Balarama Reddiar rarely visited him because they did not want to cause him any inconvenience. One day, accompanied by Balarama Reddiar, his friend Sita Rama Reddiar, a minister in the Madras government, called on Bhagavan in what is now called the Nirvana room. Balarama Reddiar noticed a halo around Bhagavan, which made him ecstatic and thrilled him to tears. He wondered whether it was his imagination playing tricks on him. But when he came out of the room, the minister asked him, where did the brilliant glow in the room come from? There was no electric light in the room. This was the exquisite spiritual aura that saturated Bhagavan's presence in his last days. Once, Balarama Reddiar's sister came to the ashram with her husband and their baby. The ashram gave permission to his sister and her baby to see Bhagavan, but her husband had to wait outside. Before prostrating, his sister happened to put the baby down on the floor on the left side of Bhagavan, the side that was excruciatingly painful for him to move due to the surgery on his left arm. The baby started to cry. Bhagavan, with visibly great difficulty, extended this hand to pat and console the baby. The night that Bhagavan dropped the body, Balarama Reddiar, Vishwanatha Swami, and a few other senior devotees like Subbarao went outside. They sat under the light of the moon. "Our master has gone," they said, and wondered, will we ever see the ocean of compassion in human form again? Thousands of people had sat before Bhagavan and had their lives transformed. He had showered grace on them like the sun. No one will ever know how many lives he touched and how many hearts blossomed like a lotus on account of that grace. Bhagavan had given them everything they needed to rise to the supreme heights of spiritual awareness. Such were their feelings as they sat under the moon. Balarama Reddiar returned to his village and continued his practice there. He would come to the ashram for Bhagavan's Jayanti and Aradhana, but would go back to his village. Many changes were taking place in the ashram. My father, who was then the president of the ashram, and I were asked to invite all the old devotees to stay in the ashram. We persuaded Balarama Reddiar to stay. He was given no work to do, and no donation was taken from him either. Balarama Reddiar would lock himself up in his room and constantly pursue his spiritual practice. I had an attendant waiting on him and taking food to him so that he could focus on his goal. Some people in the ashram mistook his seclusion and deep meditation for arrogance and said, why can't he participate in the functioning of the ashram like other people? Does he think he is supreme? Being in close contact with him, once I asked him, could you tell me about the uniqueness of Bhagavan? Balarama Reddiar said, once I asked Bhagavan if he would describe his state of jnana, the state of self-realization in which he was rooted. He replied, in this state, it is as difficult to think a thought as it is in bondage to be without thoughts. Balarama Reddiar added, the greatest features of Bhagavan were Samipya and Saulabhya. Samipya is proximity, nearness, accessibility. Saulabhya means not having any feeling of duality. Bhagavan was so close to us, there were so few rules and restrictions that it improved and encouraged our practice. We could do almost anything we wanted before Bhagavan. Sometimes we would read the newspaper in his presence, and at other times we would even discuss political matters. It was beautiful. Reddiar would say that Bhagavan was always in Brahman.
On another occasion, Balarama Reddiar wanted his doubt on self-realization clarified. He was well versed in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, Lord Krishna says that it will happen Bahunam Janmanam Ante, at the end of numerous births. When Reddiar mentioned this to Bhagavan, he got seemingly angry and declared, "What Bahunam Janmanam? I say it is here and now." As he said the last sentence, he raised his voice, and everyone assembled in the hall, including Balarama Reddiar, experienced the state of self-realization at that very moment. Reddiar said, "That is the beauty of a master being present. The experience is given directly and instantaneously. There is no demand for maturity." Balarama Reddiar too played an important role in my life. Many years ago, my family and the people of Ramanashramam thought I was lost. There were reports in the newspaper of my disappearance. My father was naturally very concerned and turned to Balarama Reddiar for advice. Balarama Reddiar comforted my father and told him that they could perhaps consult Anandamayi Ma, a wonderful saint whom Balarama Reddiar revered. Anandamayi Ma was then in Bangalore. My father, Mrs. Taliyar Khan, and Balarama Reddiar went there. The saint smiled when she heard about why they had come. "Do not worry," she said. "My Ganga Mata is protecting him." My father was puzzled because he thought he would get a specific answer. On returning to Ramanashramam, they found a telegram from one Dr. S. Nath of Benares. "Ganeshan is here in Benares." When Ma Anandamayi came to Chennai, Balarama Reddiar insisted I come for her darshan. I was a fervent devotee of Bhagavan and therefore hesitated, but he compelled me to go with him. There was a huge audience and it was impossible for me to have a personal meeting with her. Reddiar did not give up. He took me to the railway station and we met her on the train as she was leaving. She was alone in her compartment. Balarama Reddiar said, "Prostrate to her," and I did so. He introduced me to her as Bhagavan's brother's grandson. She was delighted and blessed me profusely. She also gave me an orange as prasad. Before his end came, he was involved in a car accident that injured his back. He was admitted to a hospital in Bangalore. I sent Nateshan, his attendant at the ashram, to look after him. Reddiar was in the hospital for nearly 2 months. Before departing from the world, he called out, "Natesa, Natesa, look, Bhagavan is here. Bring a chair." Natesan said, "Swami, Bhagavan is not here. He is in Ramanashramam. Tomorrow we are going there." Reddiar retorted, "You fool, Bhagavan is standing here. He is straining himself. Give him a chair." These were Balarama Reddiar's last words. The very next moment, he collapsed with a blissful smile on his face. Bhagavan had come for him. This unique rock of a devotee had gone back to Arunachala.